What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a new brand and product, the Mr. Cote Ultimate Paste. Now this comes to us straight from the Netherlands, from the young entrepreneur Mr. Vincent Cote. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And the cool thing about Mr. Cote here is he started his brand back in 2016 when he was just 14 years old. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I think it's really incredible that he did this, honestly. And I actually had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Cote throughout his explorative process in creating this brand, and it was really cool to see him go through pretty much the same process that I did with Dauntless, coming from an idea for a product to having a sample to testing and then finally releasing the whole thing to the public. I mean, I absolutely respect the dedication and drive that it took to do this, because it's not an easy task. It's really not an easy task. But enough talk about that. We are taking a look at his first product here, the Ultimate Paste, and of course we're going to be starting first with some specs. According to the brand, the Mr. Cote Ultimate Paste is the king of hair wax and features attributes like a high hold and a natural finish. Specifically, it is a water-based paste, and it has specialized ingredients that curiously don't include any waxes at all, which was something on one hand, but on the other, I thought it was pretty interesting because doing this without any waxes is not an easy feat to achieve at all from a formulating standpoint. So that really made me curious about this one, but it does feature ingredients like castor oil, argan oil to strengthen the hair, kale and clay, and rice extract for UV protection. Inside the jar here, we have a very different looking paste, different from the usual stuff, that we've seen in the past here. This almost has a jelly look to it, which makes sense to me as a formulator myself, being as PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil is very high on the ingredients list. And for those that don't know, this is what it looks like. It's a jelly that's used for various things. I use it myself, so I think that's what almost gives this a jelly-like appearance. To me, it honestly looks a bit like Scheme Cream from Hans de Fuco, if you all remember those days. It scoops and it breaks down very much like a slightly thicker version of that, with probably a much choppier breakdown. Now, when it comes to actually using this one, they have instructions that say take a small amount of product and spread it evenly across both palms, and then of course distribute the product throughout dry or damp hair. They also say you can use a blow dryer for better shape and longer lasting hold, and for those that need it, this product does have a built-in heat protectant. Now, for the demos, I figured the easiest thing to do would be to take things in order, so we are going to start with dry hair. This is freshly washed and blow-dried hair, no pre-stylers, tonics, enhancements of any kind. I am going to be following the instructions of using small amounts of product and applying it here, and I'm using a total of 3 scoops because after 1 scoop, it honestly didn't feel like anything was there, like at all. After 2 scoops, I felt a little bit of action there, but really not much. So I did add in the 3rd one, and after that, I felt like if it was going to provide that high hold, it would have presented itself by now, so I kind of stopped there. What I see here, honestly, though, is a very light hold with a decent helping of control. Now, remember, hold and control are 2 different things, and keeping that in mind, hold is somewhat there, not anywhere near the realm of high, though, but it is enough to get a style out of it for sure, and the product itself is very slick, so I can comb it through, and I think it does produce a decent style for what it is. Unfortunately, though, this is that same style after only 4 hours. It looks pretty much like the air was let out of it. It's not totally gone for sure. You can see the outline of the style still there, but it's absolutely fallen down, and again, this was only 4 hours in. Now, when I did try this product with damp hair, remember, I am trying to be more open-minded to damp hair styling after the results with whitewater in the last video. I am trying to be more open-minded with it. I have to say, though, this one here just didn't work well for me in that aspect. It just did not work well at all in damp hair, and that has everything to do with how light the product is. Remember, I said it had a light hold and decent helping of control just a second ago? I think it utilized the dry hair to produce that control, and I think it used it to its benefit, but on damp hair, it obviously didn't have that, so it just kind of went nowhere. Honestly, it didn't really work at all for me, but we are told that we can use this as a pre-styler, so of course I wanted to check that out for you guys, and this is what I got from that. Here I am here hitting the reset button on the hair, and we're going to be adding it into damp hair, pretty much the same as when I tested it on damp hair, but this time I am going to be giving it something to latch onto with the dry hair and the heat from the blow dryer. I did test this out with using both 1 and 2 scoops, and for this demo on video, I am going to be using 2 small scoops heat, because really that's what produced a better result. So that's what you're going to see here after hitting it with the heat. And here we can see it has an overall decent result, but really the volume is much lower than other pre-stylers for one, and two, it's a lot lower than just the dry hair demo by itself. I mean, I had more volume in the dry hair demo than this. The simple truth here though is that it does provide a bit more hold in this method, but again, it lacks it in other areas. That's pretty much it though for the demos. Now we're going to be moving on to the scent, and I have to say, for me, I think the scent is actually quite good. It's a really nice cologne scent. It is a bit loud, but overall it's a good solid cologne scent. I do kind of think that at least my first thoughts when I first tried it was they should have toned it down a little bit, should have kind of toned it back just a tad, because it is pretty strong. But on their site it actually says you won't need to wear a cologne anymore, so I'm thinking that it's strong on purpose, or it might have been done on purpose so that you wouldn't have to wear a cologne. And if that's the goal, they absolutely achieved that, because it is pretty strong. Moving straight along here though into the washout, I think it's actually super easy to describe. Any sign of hold and any sign of the actual hold from the product came out with just water, but the signs of the oils or the slight sheen, that absolutely needed a shampoo for sure. But one shampoo did it, took it straight out of my hair, which for me, as usual, still qualifies as an easy washout. Now though, let's bring it all together for some final thoughts. As usual, overall, I got some things that I liked about this and some obvious criticism. I really admire and appreciate how he did this himself, you know, making the product, starting the business. He learned to make product, and he started his own business at such a young age. I really don't want to minimize how large of an achievement that really is. I also really like how he took a different approach with his formulating and not using waxes in his formula, and at least attempting to not just follow the norm, and he kind of went his own way with it, and I really respect that. I respect that he took a different approach with the packaging as well by using larger glass jars and this larger lid. I think it looks fantastic. I think the labels are very well designed. They're very high quality too. I really enjoyed the whole aesthetic and the presentation of the product. As far as what's inside the jar goes, I mean, that's really what counts though, right? What's inside the jar. As far as that goes, it is my opinion that some changes need to be made first with the overall strength of the product. As it stands, I think this one will pretty much only work for folks with long hair that are looking for just a little bit of control to keep it out of their face. I said a minute ago that it reminds me of Steam Cream, you know, because I think that really fits here, because that's really what that product was kind of known for. If you had longer hair, you know, it's something you just wanted to keep it out of your face. Yeah, I used it a lot. If you guys, some of you guys have been around the channel for a long time, I used to have my hair like pretty much down to my chin, and that's what I would use the Steam Cream for, was I would just push it back, keep it out of my face, you know, on days when I wanted to do that. Along those lines too, I have a hard time seeing this work for really any other scenario, even thinner or finer hair, because it is so light. I mean, sometimes when you have a product that is lighter in thick hair, it's heavier in thin hair. So sometimes I am able to judge that and say, well, I think it's going to be a better hold scenario for you guys with thinner hair or finer hair than me. But I just can't, in all honesty, say that I think the hold for even those hair types would be anywhere near medium, or let alone heavy. I mean, it's listed as a heavy. I just don't find it to be anywhere near that. As a pre-styler, yeah, you might see some better results in finer or thinner hair, but one thing I found too was that if you used anything with it as a post-styler, this would kind of eat through it, and that would make the overall result, you know, a little bit oily even. So it just kind of ate through the post styler, which is a little bit of an odd reaction, but it just didn't work out with post stylers for me either. So that is just everything I saw. You know, I only report what I see. Lastly, in regards to the price, it is 1649 euros, which translates to 1945 USD, and when shipping here to the US where I am, they do include a shipping cost of 21.95 euros, which I believe translates to $25.89 in US dollars, which brings you to a grand total of $45.35 US for the one product here. So I am told though that you can find this product at Pomade Club too, and if you're interested, I will link them in the description down below so you guys can check it out if you're interested in doing so. That is it for today's video though. If you enjoyed today's review, make sure you drop me a like and a comment down below, and if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd really appreciate you doing that. It's a big help. It's a big deal for me. For you guys that do that, I thank you in advance for considering that. I will be back with you guys again here and hopefully soon. I'm working on videos all the time now that I'm done with my internships, and hopefully that means I'll be putting together videos in a quicker time frame. But until then, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you next time.